Yes, ladies and gentlemen, episode 135 of the Journey's anime titled Pokemon. I'm glad I got to meet you just dropped, and this is the epilogue episode after the Masters 8 and Project Mew series. What do we learn here? Let's find out. This is a get-together episode for our main characters after the craziness of the last few episodes in the Masters 8 and the Project Mew arc. We see Ash at Oak's ranch sharing the victory with all of his Pokemon. Even Oak congratulates him with a poem. And Dahlia, his mom, brings him a lunchbox because she has a feeling that he's not going to stay home long and he's leaving for his next adventure soon. Goh returns from Project Mew to Cerise Laboratory to tell his Pokemon that he met Mew thanks to all of them, but now he has a lot on his mind, which surprises his Pokemon. Chloe then comes to Cerise Laboratory to ask whether Ash and Goh have arrived. I guess that means they came separately, even though she was watching Ash at the Masters 8? Or maybe they did return together, but then Ash went to Pallet first, and maybe she was wondering if he was back yet from that. Either way, they were planning on going camping, so Chloe says that she will wait for them at the Cerise Park. While on the way to the park, she overhears Goh saying that he wants to go on a journey. Goh sees her after Eevee jumps out towards Goh where he was talking to his Pokemon, and they have a discussion about this. Goh says that after meeting Mew he realized he just wasn't strong enough to face Mew, so he's decided that he wants to go on a journey like Ash across many regions and become stronger to eventually one day face Mew again. However, he feels like he would be betraying Ash if he did that, so he hasn't told him yet. Plus, he thinks that Ash is gonna tell him, "Oh, go ahead and go," and he doesn't know how to feel about that yet. That's when Ash arrives at the park. Goh struggles to tell him that he wants to go on his own journey, but Ash reminds him of their promise, that the next time they would meet, it would be with a smile. But before they can tell each other about their respective stories and adventures, they have to get on the bus to the camp. On the bus, they discuss their stories and adventures, but we the audience can't hear it because we've already seen it, and they eventually get to the forest where they will be setting up camp. There, as they're setting up camp, they see Grookey has found some Pecha berries nearby, so they decide to go get some for everyone else. While on their way there, they discuss some Pokemons, and Goh talks about a memory he had of an Abra from when he was a child. Abra one day teleported into his house when he was young, and after he met it, it would occasionally return, taking him to the park and other places where there were a lot of Pokemon, and that's where Goh's love of Pokemon stemmed from. Ash doesn't have a story like that, he's just always liked Pokemon and tried to be friends with all of them. That's when they arrive near the Pecha berry. There, they see a Poliwag grabbing a Pecha berry, and it falls and hits a Spearow. Pikachu tries to save the Poliwag by using Thunderbolt on the Spearow, but a whole flock of Spearow arrive and begin chasing them. I like this nice callback to the first episode of the Pokemon anime here. They run as the Poliwag hides and come across a Slowpoke yawning, and thinking fast on her feet, Chloe has Eevee copy the yawn and put the flock of Spearow to sleep. They then return back to their camp to eat and sit down and talk when the same Poliwag from earlier arrives to thank them by giving them Pecha berries. Poliwag appears a lot in this episode, and I was thinking why, because Ash doesn't really have a connection to that Pokemon, but I realized that it was both Satoshi Tajiri's favorite Pokemon and Red Star in the manga, so even though there isn't a direct connection here with the anime, it is an important Pokemon to the first generation of Pokemon, which this episode is celebrating with its titles and its callbacks. As they sit down, the discussion that they have here is a summary of the entire series. This does really feel like the end of Journeys as they all discuss how Pokemon have helped them grow and change as people. Goh used to say that he didn't care about having friends, but that changed because of Raboot, and Chloe used to not like Pokemon, but that has changed because of Eevee. This is also where the title of this episode comes from, as they all thank their partner Pokemon for helping them grow. Here, Goh decides he wants to tell Ash that he wants to go on a journey alone, but struggles to again. That's when Ash gets up and tells him that he's gonna go on a journey, and Goh's deeply hurt by that and runs off. That is because, as Chloe tells him, Ash was his first friend, and while that really isn't true since it should technically be Chloe, I understand what she's saying. Goh was struggling to tell Ash because he considered Ash one of his close friends and he wanted to talk to him about the decision. Ash, on the other hand, coldly tells him because to Ash this is just another journey, and there's another reason as we'll find out later. Ash and Chloe chase Goh and look for him while it's raining, and I'm pretty sure this is also supposed to be a reference to the first episode of the anime, as the weather and the environment feel the exact same. Goh ignores Chloe's phone calls and sulks, however, his Cinderace takes matters into his own hand and takes Goh's phone and runs towards the lake. Pikachu leads Ash there too, and the two meet up. Before Ash can say anything, Goh stops him, but then the big tree in the middle of the lake begins to glow as a whole bunch of Metapod begin to evolve into Butterfree. Ash is worried about the Butterfree since it's raining, but Goh tells him that according to the deck, Butterfree's wings can repel water. Goh then friendlily argues to Ash that they aren't friends. Meanwhile, Ash says that he only decided to go alone because Chloe had told him that Goh was about to go on an adventure alone as well. So it seems it was a mix-up and all's well that ends well. The Metapod evolving into a Butterfree isn't a difficult symbolism to see in this case, and I do think it works to a certain degree here. I just think it's a bit of a weird outburst from Goh. However, the show does constantly remind us that Goh is a bit of a socially isolated person, so it's understandable that when he thinks Ash is going to leave without telling him, he's hurt. It's part of his character from the beginning of the series, however it does kind of go against the entire part beforehand where he thanked his Pokemon for helping him grow. I guess even though he's gotten better at helping others and making friends, seeing one of his close friends leave is still difficult for him. Either way, then Goh's phone rings and a raid cloud begins to form. From that comes Lugia, the Pokemon they fought and met in episode 2 of the series. It appears before them and tells them to follow it. They chase after it near a cliff before initiating a raid battle, Ash calling out Lucario and Goh calling out Inteleon, and that's where the episode ends. This is a great episode to help wrap up the series. I know we still have one more episode next week, but this properly wraps up all the stories in this series. Chloe got her ending a while back and Goh and Ash got their ending here. And as this episode is a reflection of their growth and series, and it's going to be interesting to see where they plan on going next. This episode sets up a few things that I'm curious as to what it's going to pay off to. It seems like both Ash and Goh are going to go alone in their journeys. Does that mean it's a new series? Does that mean it's a series where Ash and Goh are there, or maybe it's just Ash and Goh doesn't appear again? Does that mean the end of the series, because we haven't seen any more episode titles or a trailer or anything after this? I'm eager to find out how this ends. We also get our regular Team Rocket visiting Paldea segment. This time, they see a Quaxly, and unlike the other times, it isn't their hubris that gets them caught. Well, partially. They yell when they're about to throw a Pokeball at it. It's just that Quaxly uses Water Gun and sends them blasting off. And that is the end of that. The next episode seems like it's the end of the series, Ash and Goh fighting Lugia, and then they leave Cerise's laboratory for good. How's it gonna end? I can't wait. But anyways, that is it from our review episode 135 The Journey's Anime. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe. In the comments, let me know your thoughts on this episode. You can follow me on Twitter at PdGaming, and that is it. I will talk to you guys later. Peace.